started?
Yeah, it's on. Do you want me to wait?
No.
It's too late now.
What your format was?
I don't have a format.
That's everything.
Yeah.
Hold on, sir. Get my life in order.
Uh-huh. Probably should have pressed all this before I started. Yeah. Oh, you brought caffeine, you motherfucker. It's so like smoking a cigarette in front of a quit like. No, I'm just kidding.
Because right, I was about to say, don't you not drink caffeine anymore?
I haven't had it in a couple days.
Okay, I thought you was off of it.
I'm working on it.
Well,
like I've been working my way. I was drinking one thing a day. I was
I
drinking
brought
one
you
of the,
chocolate.
that's got caffeine in it. You didn't bring this for me.
Yes, I did.
Oh, all right.
I brought you one and I brought me one. Well, actually, I can be honest, because you're probably going to find out later anyway. I brought it to you.
And you're like, I want to now. Give it to
Look,
you.
I was about to say, I may end up eating one of them now, and we just come clean so you know where you at. Okay. And there's that book that I told you I wasn't going to forget.
Oh, it's a hardcover?
Yes.
Oh, she already had one on hardcover. No, it's not. Is it hardcover?
That is a hardcover.
You didn't tell me it was in hardcover, man. It doesn't work.
What happened?
If you stick the hardcover on top of all the other ones, which are not hardcover,
Yeah.
it looks kind of weird. It doesn't really feel like it's gonna last. So, I saw you. Because you got 3 of them?
No, those are the 2.
Oh.
I just went ahead and pulled out the second one since I told you about it.
Oh. Alright, I get you.
I was going to hide it at first.
Alright.
I said, let me just come clean because I'm probably going to eat it right now. And
Alright, so.
Alright, everyone out there in the universe.
They can see you. They can hear you. There's
I'm
no one there.
waiting on you.
Just us.
I know you. You'll be here in a minute. They got to get the Facebook notification.
Do you share it? I probably should share it more.
I don't usually, but I'm going to share it now.
Mr. Seat Stealer. I'll share. You can have half. Alright. So, I watched it today. I did.
Okay. Now, just first,
Damn it, we've got 500 members.
I'll work.
Alright, mister.
Share. Hey, sir, you're in the video. Okay, now, all right, we got our first viewer, so we can start out serious.
I mean, there's other. You are the first viewer?
Oh, I am the first viewer. I'm fucking Fox, and then it's on fucking camera. I can't take that back.
No, you can't. But I don't edit, so. Editing is not my thing. You can get rid of that right now.
Oh yeah, let's do that. It definitely has sound, so we just talking about.
Alright.
Okay, so just off rip. Initial reaction.
Of me? Alright.
What did you think?
Well, you want to tell people what are you talking about?
Oh, well, I thought we were just conversing until we got a few people watching. But
No
anyway,
one's gonna be watching. This is for the.
we usually get 2 or 3 viewers. Don't do it.
No, I know, but I'm just saying we're not. It's not just for them. It's for the people who are watching YouTube and shit. 'Cause
I mean,
post it
what's
on YouTube
True.
afterwards.
Okay.
If we got 1,000 followers, if I got 1,000 followers on YouTube, then we could go live on YouTube, which I would do. But
We'll get there.
I don't have that.
We just got to talk about this. This might help us get there because this is hot ticket content. So you just make sure when you title it, you gotta put it in the title.
Oh, okay.
Like when you upload it to YouTube, like you gotta put WandaVision in the title or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and most of how you get followers on YouTube is how you title your video.
I always just title them what they are.
Oh no, that's why you ain't getting no followers. You gotta put the key
I
words
don't.
in it, like key things that you talked about.
I do. Well, you do.
That would draw
that's the
people?
tags.
Oh, well,
You
yeah.
do tags. I did tags.
Okay.
I haven't done it in a minute. I got to do it on some of them, but I always just like because it's not in the spot where it used to be where I could do it. Like,
Right.
you have to go back in and do it.
Well,
And I do it on my phone, so I don't actually upload it on.
we definitely gotta do it for this one because
Whatever.
this is gonna be popular content. So this is gonna gain you some followers.
Maybe. Or it's gonna gain us some haters.
I mean, I don't give a fuck about them hoes.
Did you see that one dude said about Suicide Squad?
What did you say? It was
He
terrible.
said no. He said DC has the best villains. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
I won't say the best.
And he used Suicide Squad as their, but I don't know much about Suicide Squad except for the movie.
I won't say best, but I will say they have a lot of really great villains.
I do like the Joker,
Yes, the Joker is probably one of the most iconic villains, period. DC or Marvel.
but I do like how, I don't know, I don't think any of them really go into mental health in the way that it really is. It's always that fantasy, what you think mental health is for a villain.
I mean, well, this is to assume that all villains are mentally unhealthy.
No, I get that, but I'm just talking in general when they do mental health as a villain, like because that's Joker is crazy. He's a guy that doesn't
Psychotic
see,
even.
he doesn't see reality anymore.
Right.
He only sees the reality he wants to create.
Well, which is just chaos.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I see that, but
Oh, motherfucker! You did? Did you tell me? Yeah. Did you text me?
Yeah, I did. That's
Oh.
on my way.
I didn't see it because I was coming.
Okay, no problem.
All right, see you guys.
so I will say there is a much larger cast of really, really great villains in the DC than there is in the MCU. Because to be honest, like in the MCU or in just Marvel period, outside of Kang the Conqueror is a really big villain. A lot of people really like him.
I've never even heard of him.
The Mandarin, he's like the time villain.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't he like human?
I mean, to an extent, but technically, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a mutant. No, not. I'm lying. He is the descendant of Mr. Fantastic, of Reed Richards. So he's like his.
Oh, so he's from the future. Well, he's
Yes.
time, so he could be from.
Yes.
Okay, I get you. Okay.
What happens is.
Because I'm like, how the fuck? Because I've seen him. He's
Well,
old, isn't he? Like no.
He's like there's like 3 different versions of him. What happens is, as a young
Who is it
Avenger,
again?
he becomes a young Avenger.
A
Kang the Conqueror. He was part of the Young Avengers as Iron Lad. I think it was Iron Lad. Yeah, I want to say Iron Lad. He was like the young Iron Man, essentially the Iron Man counterpart on the Young Avengers, and somebody foresaw the future and saw of him becoming Kang the Conqueror and told him about it. So
John
basically,
Majors is reportedly playing that guy.
yeah, the guy from
From the. He's a good actor.
yeah, he's gonna be great. I like
He
him.
was really like his. He was pretty good in a couple episodes I saw him in that whatever that show is. So he okay, so he looks like a future person.
Well, he has 3 versions. There's Iron Lad, the normal Kang the Conqueror version, and then Immortus. Immortus is the version of him that basically, like, if I'm not mistaken, I think he goes to the future and like pretty much gains control of all of the universes, all of the parallel timelines. Like, that's why his name is Kang the Conqueror.
Oh.
Like, he pretty much like takes over all of the timelines in the future, and I believe he's Immortus, or he becomes Immortus when he does that.
Immortal.
He's kind of already immortal, I think, because he can travel through time. If I'm not mistaken, I think that may be his base power.
He's a kid. He's supposed to be the kid of.
He's the descendant of Reed Richards. I don't know, like, for sure who his parents is, but he's the descendant of Reed Richards. He's also Iron Lad. That's like who he starts.
He showed up in 1963 as Ramatut.
Oh, and then that's another version of him.
And then a year later, he was Kang.
Mm-hmm.
His alter ego is Nathaniel Richards.
Yep.
Council of Kangs, Cross-Time Kangs.
Yeah, he's that's why a lot of people think he's gonna show up in the Loki series, because
Possible descendant of Reed Richards.
I mean it's generally understood throughout all Marvel and Marvel fandom that he's his descendant.
Expert historical scholar, time travel, genius level intellect, skilled tactician, hand-to-hand combat, resistant to radiation. Oh wow. Access. Well, I mean that comes from your. If he is a kid, it could be access to advanced technology, which could bring in the Ultimate or Fantastic Four.
Fuck, shut the front fucking door. They said we may get a Fantastic Four movie as early as next year.
Shut up.
Yes, supposedly next summer.
You know who likes Fantastic Four people?
Who?
Old people.
Yeah, because it's like.
It's one of their old comics.
Yeah, it's one of the original. They're like
Yeah.
they're known as like the first family of Marvel or some shit like
and
that.
their fucking people love that. And I don't mind it. It's got a, whatever. You can do some pretty cool shit with Richards.
Well, I think they went with the Fantastic Four first because X-Men has just been done so many times and done wrong so many times.
An alternate version of Kang who resides in limbo. Kang was destined to become him until the last issue of Avengers Forever series, in which powerful beings called the Timekeepers unintentionally to separate the former from the latter. So, Immortus is in limbo. Iron Lad is adolescent version of Kang who learned of his future self when Kang tried to prevent a childhood hospitalization. Huh. And Ramatut, Victor Timely.
He's had many different aliases because he pops up all over the place throughout time.
Well, if you could travel through time,
Mm-hmm.
you can't live forever though.
That's,
Spider-Ham. Spider-Ham has kangaroo, named Kangaroo the Conqueror.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
That's hilarious.
That is quite funny.
You know what? I saw zombies. Is that real? Is that coming in the what ifs?
Oh yes.
The zombies with dude, that's exciting. Because that's one of Lou's favorite fucking arcs.
Yeah,
Zombies arc. They really did a fucking Peter Parker Spider-Ham. When the fuck was this done? In '83.
That made me think about The Simpsons. Hey, what's up, baby? You alright?
Oh, one shot thing. He came up really. They brought him back from 1983.
Huh?
Spider-Ham. Pizza's gonna be here soon, babe. Just so you know.
Spider-Pig.
If you haven't seen the movie, you need to see Spider-Man.
I think I want watermelon anyway.
Yeah, I just see Spider-Ham.
No, the one with the multiple dimensions.
What is that?
Enter the multiverse.
Oh, I have. Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse, that's what it is.
Smoky, don't even start. I just fed you. Right?
I have definitely seen Into the Spider-Verse.
Don't even start.
It was very good.
Alright, so you want to do a WandaVision review. And we'll probably do it every week, so it'll be a little section.
No.
Because this one was 2
baby.
episodes, and I'm pretty sure we're going to only get one next week.
Yeah, one from
Now, did you watch the... Yeah, obviously, I can see what the fuck you watch. Because they're connected.
Right, so you see every time I watch
It's
it?
like, fuck, I gotta go do this stupid shit to get it to restart so I can watch it. He's already watched whatever. The
Oh.
Mandalorian was doing that to me.
Well, my fault.
Not your fault.
I was about to say, because I got up this morning and I thought about that. I was like, well, when I get off work, I'm probably come home and be home for like maybe 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going over there. So I was like, I should probably watch both now.
Well, I knew I had time.
Because I wanted to be able to watch them and take notes and have.
Oh, you took notes on your phone?
Yes.
I took notes on the notes.
Well, that's fine. As long as you have notes.
I have notes.
So what was your initial idea of the 2 episodes?
Well, in the beginning, I was a little like
What the fuck?
corny.
That's why I wanted your opinion first.
I thought this is corny as shit.
Of course you did.
And I mean, what? You don't want them, get out of the way. Or you want some, get some. I don't know. At first I was like, this better get better than this. That's what I thought. I'm like, this better
Do you
get better than-
seriously? I mean, well, I guess I can't say.
Because I don't know nothing about the comic.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So it's just, they're playing 50s things, and she looked really good with the hairstyle.
Yeah, she looked really good.
She looked fucking...
I mean, they both look good to me. I mean, they're just really, really great actors. Like they.
Yes,
Face
he
acting and
was
everything.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that
both
drunk
really
part, the
Yes.
drunk shit that they were doing. Yeah,
It
he
was.
good about that.
Yeah, he was fucking amazing. But I mean, if you couldn't tell, like it's decades in TV. Well, I mean, I get it, but I was about to go further.
Well, that's one thing. First thing I wrote down: 50s TV sucks ass.
It did.
Because 50s TV back in it, they were doing, and I know it was kind of supposed to be a mockery, but that's the honest to God truth of what most TV was. That's why Lucy ruled the fucking airwaves.
I mean,
for
but
30 fucking years, because she did some crazy shit, and she had a Chicano in there.
But you also have to think about it and remember that, like, TV was invented in the 40s. Or, well, it was invented a little before that, but it didn't become, like, wide.
No.
mainstream.
I'm not...
So they had no idea what people
But
would
I Love
watch.
Lucy isn't the 50s, I don't think. I Love Lucy is the 60s and 70s.
60s. I think it
'Cause again,
might have caught
That
the end of the
TV
50s.
that they were doing there was, they were imitating 50s, but that shit...
It was the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Oh, is that what they were imitating?
Yes.
So that's the... Well,
Each decade has like a source show, I guess you could say. And the Dick Van
okay,
Dyke
and
was
the
the
next
50s.
one is going to be I Dream of Jeannie, it looks like.
The 60s was Bewitched.
Yeah, Bewitched, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and then the 70s is going to
What was
be
the 70s?
the Brady Bunch. That was the color with the stairs, them coming down the stairs, her with the long straight hair.
Oh, and they haven't got to that point.
Yeah,
the first two
that's
episodes
three.
are in the 50s.
50s and 60s. The second episode was the 60s. Bewitched.
Dick Van Dyke was on TV back then,
Yes, Dick Van Dyke is like,
and he's fucking still alive.
it's like the blueprint for, he consulted on the show. Dick Van Dyke had input on WandaVision.
5 years old, born in 1925.
Mm-hmm. And he had input on WandaVision. That's
and
why
he
it was
served
so
3
good.
years in World War II in American theater. I don't know what that means.
I don't either. Maybe he was a performer.
No. When they say theater, they're talking about what part of the world you were fighting in.
Oh.
So, like the Japan theater, I don't...
Educate me.
Hold on, let me look, actually. Was it a theater of operations during World War II, including all American territory extended... Oh, so he basically was around... Yeah, that's what I thought. You had to... Yeah.
So it's just a fancy way of saying it. area.
He was around America protecting, like he was in ships and other things in America. So he may not have seen war, actual combat.
But he was here protecting for if the war or combat came over here.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, well.
Again, another one. He was still there, dude.
I mean, no, I'm not. I was finna segue because as I was about to say.
Well, I'm trying to see when he was in the Dick Van Dyke Show when it started.
Yes, that's the look they were giving.
Yeah, this right here. I know.
Mm-hmm.
He was started from 1961 to 1966. The Dick Van Dyke Show. So it was the 60s, but it was portraying the 50s.
Yes.
It was supposed to be.
It was set in the 50s.
Yeah, it was like this imaginary world that the 50s was supposed to be.
Yes.
Only the very top percent of the population was living that life.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say. But
either way, they were in a cul-de-sac and they were doing like weird. But okay, so obviously they gave you some. The girl, the neighbor's in on it. I feel like she's kind of like part of the whole situation.
yeah, she's the character that I was explaining to you about, Agatha Harkness.
Right.
She's basically a low-level witch type character.
Yeah.
But
what was the fucking symbol?
Which one?
They showed it multiple times at the end of the first episode when they scanned out on the TV and they had the symbol everywhere. It's a sword in between two lines.
In the circle with the sword. That's the sword symbol for the shield.
Yeah.
Shield is basically compromised. So now there's sword. Sword is like the sentient world observation and something.
Sword is.
It's
what's happening in the MCU right now. They just haven't introduced it yet.
Well, kind of, because if you remember at the end of Spider-Man, Samuel Jackson was on that spaceship when he was barefooted. Where are my shoes?
He was with Captain Marvel.
Well, yes.
And the aliens, whatever they are.
The
shapeshifters.
The Skrull. So basically, that ship that he was on is believed to be the Peak, which is like the iconic ship. That's like the headquarters of SWORD in the comics. Because SWORD does what SHIELD does, but they watch for like cosmic threats. Like SHIELD is on the ground, SWORD is like cosmic or whatever. So I guess
maybe it is because if SWORD's involved, does that mean because SHIELD still exists?
No, SHIELD was compromised by Hydra, so SHIELD is in like shambles.
I thought they rebuilt it.
I mean, I guess at this point in the history of
I thought the
whatever
Avengers
they're
were
rebuilding.
SHIELD. Or is Avengers separate?
The Avengers are a separate group.
Okay, so SHIELD's gone and they just switched over the sword.
I mean, for the most part, SHIELD is done for. Like, that's why.
So it's obviously SWORD is somehow watching her on TV. That's what it.
I think.
Maybe they can read her consciousness?
Yes, that's what I think it is. I think I think they're with her body.
Yeah.
I think they're with her actual body.
And they have her in an MRI type.
Yes, and they're like reading her vitals or reading her or whatever, and they have a view into what's going on in her mind, and I think they can see it, and it's showing to them as a TV show, and I think that's why we're seeing it that way as a TV show, because she's using whatever her knowledge of the world is to create a scenario to fit her envision.
It could just be a technology. Together. If you take in Black Mirror, okay, you watch Black Mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the episode with the insurance lady?
Yes.
All right, you take in that technology, that could be what they're using, and that's why the guy's what's going on, Wanda? What he's trying to figure, like maybe they're trying to communicate to her with this thing, and they can just project, or maybe she's created her own reality. Somewhere.
I think that's part of it too.
She could be doing that somewhere, and it's just.
I think the big thing about it is whether or not Mephisto is in this shit. That's like the big question.
Because if it's Sword, it could be on another planet.
I know. I think it's on Earth. I think it's on Earth. I think
maybe she's created, because maybe it's real. Like maybe she's created this, because she can literally use, like you said, she can create. So this whole cul-de-sac, everything that's happening, is her just literally created this place.
yes.
And
That's what I was about to say.
Sword's like, why is this place now here in the desert?
That's what I was. Well, I don't think it's in the desert because I'm gonna tell you.
I
why.
think it's away from the people.
No, I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think it's an actual place, and I think whatever is happening to her, I think it's spreading, and I think it's growing. I think she has some amount of control over what's going on. Because if you remember, when that beekeeper came up, she saw the beekeeper and she said no, and then she rewinded.
Yeah, when she found out she had a kid.
I think the beekeeper because if you notice on the back of his uniform, he had a sword logo on the back of it.
I wouldn't have. That's why not knowing Sword,
You didn't know.
It was confusing.
Right.
It was like,
but I caught that logo. I think that's somebody that came from outside and came up through the sewers, and I think they were coming in to try to investigate.
oh, because they can't get through a barrier.
Right, and I think she changed him as he came in, because that's what.
Maybe she's got bees protecting the fucking sewers.
Right, or whatever the case may be, but she has some sort of grasp on this area that she's created, and I think anybody that enters into it.
Where was she last time we saw her?
The last we saw of her was in the battle against Thanos. They literally showed her fighting against Thanos, and that was pretty much it.
They don't.
So we don't know where she went.
She was there for the.
Well, she was at the funeral. She was at the funeral, so I guess the funeral will be the last place. But we don't know where she went. She could have went anywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's the last time we saw her.
Yeah, she could have went in, and it's been years. I'm assuming her show is present day, and if this show is present day, then that means it's been at least 2 years. Because Endgame was 2018. So I'm assuming it's been at least 2 years that she's been wherever doing whatever. And for all we know, this could have been happening to her for this entire 2 years. Maybe her powers have been on the fritz for 2 years because of her emotional instability.
Yeah, she's finally broke down.
Yes, and is this finally her breaking down, and that's what causes everything to go crazy,
or does somebody tempt her?
I think that's what it is. I think it's Mephisto. I think he's taking advantage of her being weak. I think he's using Catherine Hahn's character, Agatha, to basically steer her in the right direction.
Yeah, but is he there yet?
That's what I'm confused about. Because at first I thought he might be the black guy. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I don't know his powers.
Well, no. I don't.
What's his powers?
He doesn't really have any specific. He's just basically the Satan of.
So shapeshifting should be
right, because shapeshifting is it's kind of a low level thing for people with powers.
It depends on who you are though, because some people believe they're just angel. He's a fallen angel, which means he just has the power of an angel.
Which I would still believe shapeshifting.
Yeah, okay, I guess.
Would fall into that.
Who struck her?
I wrote that down too. But wait, before you're taking me too fast, because I'm trying to see if I can find a specific power set for Mephisto. Okay, magic. So magic is kind of projecting illusions, manipulating memories, altering time, superhuman strength, shape and size shifting. He's also highly resistant to energy. So, which is why I think it's him, because he's also been shown to be energized by sources of evil in the human realm. So, if he can essentially turn her into a villain,
which she already was.
You could say that, yes, because Brazil kind of made her a villain from what happened when.
If you're gonna watch it and then you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna watch this stupid.
But I won't say villain per se, because it's evil. like specifically evil.
No,
So he would literally have
okay,
to like.
because she's not a villain. She's just mad at Tony Stark
Yes.
and what happened to her life.
She's upset about how her life has went. Essentially, she lost her brother.
Yeah, and then when she realized that the thing she was doing was going to hurt more than the whole, she stopped doing what she was doing. So
Yes.
she's not evil, correct?
But if you can push her to a state of evil,
Not even it doesn't have to be a state of evil.
well, it has
just
to be.
Can be a
It
snap.
has to be. It has to be.
No, it can be a snap of total. Because again,
No, he feeds off evil. Like he needs her to change. Like she needs to go dark, and I think that's what's going to
I
happen.
thought he wants to steal her power.
And that's what I was about to say. He can feed. He gets energy off of people doing evil. Essentially,
Well,
is I guess is a way to
taking her
put it.
kids.
So causing her to go evil is, I think, the way they're going to use it in the MCU to have him try to siphon her powers. Like have her snap, have her commit like this atrocious act of like doing something really egregious, like something that you might not think she could come back from.
What if Agatha's just setting it up for next season?
No, I don't think that. No, I think this is a 1 season type deal.
You think?
Absolutely, it's the arc that they're covering. It's a 1 arc deal. Like after this, she is either gonna be
You think all of their shit's gonna be 1 season?
no, because they already renewed Loki for 2 seasons.
Yeah, but it's only 6 episodes.
So they still renewed it for a 2nd season.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
It doesn't matter. They're gonna have a 2nd season that's gonna come out. That's gonna talk about new and different things. But
yeah, they just have.
this is not gonna get a 2nd season. I don't think.
Because his is gonna be in a totally different timeline. Correct.
Yes, it's gonna be it's gonna be in all timelines. I think his show is gonna be about him
Figuring out he can travel.
No, I think it's gonna be
time.
him capturing 2 other versions of himself. I think that's what it's gonna be about, because somebody brought up something that the Ancient One said when she was explaining to the Hulk about timelines and how they split off.
Yeah.
She talked about how not having the time stone, not having a stone
Still mad at China for that.
in the universe will cause another timeline to split off. And because of that, I think what they're going to do is they're going to say that 2 timelines have split off, and in one, Loki is Kid Loki, and in the other, he's female Loki. And I think his show is going to be about him capturing those 2 versions of himself to make the timeline back right again. Because they showed him, they were showing the past. I mean, they were showing like the different.
I didn't see the trailer yet.
Oh, well, you need to watch the
I
trailer.
guess I could do it right now.
The trailer has a bunch of Easter eggs in it that make me feel like they're doing female Loki and Kid Loki.
Well, I feel like they have to figure out something because if they want to keep these characters going, they're going to have to figure out a way to keep them going.
Yes,
age
Loki
is a
could
huge-
live on a TV show. Like you could do multiple seasons and do just multiple different crazy things.
different versions too.
Yeah, with Loki, but this WandaVision thing, that's specifically set for a 1 arc. There was only 1 arc where they were kind of a couple always, but there's only 1 arc where they had the children and she went crazy and she ended up drastically changing reality more than once. That was only a 1 arc thing. So I think this is just going to be a 1 season thing just to set up the next movie, which she's also going to be in.
Maybe she's the villain.
She is. It's already highly speculated that she's the villain of Doctor Strange 2.
And they have to bring her back.
And Doctor Strange is going to have to get her together. And I think the decision is ultimately going to come down to, do we kill her? Can we help her? Because that was a legit decision in the comics.
Can they kill her?
I don't think they could have, but they were thinking about it. Maybe they could, like, cause if you catch her, like, you know, like if she's in a moment of losing her shit and she's unconscious, like if you slit the bitch throat,
Yeah, and shot her in the head. Yeah,
or shoot her in the
but I'm
head,
talking
but
like
I mean, you know,
an actual battle.
like if she knows you coming and she's aware and fully conscious,
and she has her full power.
yeah, because she can
hasn't even
change
used
reality
it.
like that.
Yeah.
So
She can do what fucking
what Thanos was doing with the stone.
Yeah.
Yup.
And you saw how powerful it was when he was fucking turned the Hulk into nothing. And walked right through his ass.
Oh yeah, and then he fucking turned Drax into fucking a bunch of cubes.
Alright, that's 2-minute fucking trailer.
I mean, it's got a lot of spoilers in it. Well, not spoilers, but a lot of Easter eggs. Forgot about that. That's just like crazy. Like, how perfect could they couldn't have ended no other way? Like, he slipped out and nobody ever even saw him leave. That's gonna be important. He's not bound. He doesn't have the handcuffs or anything like that. So I don't think that's the same scene. I think that's a different part in the show.
Yeah, it's not right after that.
Yeah, it's not right after that.
He probably goes somewhere and gets unbound, and then gets beat up and ends up in a desert place.
You're taking me somewhere to kill me. No, I'm taking you someplace to talk. Well,
Oh, I didn't know he was going to be in it.
But you did
Mobius
like
and
what
Mobius.
you just did. Because we both know you love to talk.
He's going to be good.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love
It's
him.
hard to say, time passes differently.
I was very excited to see him in this as well.
You'll catch up.
Oh, so this is going to introduce the fucking...
The TVA,
What's the TVA?
the Time Variance Authority. They're like the time cops of the MCU.
Okay.
And that's why I feel like Kang is either going to show up in this show or be teased at the end of the show somehow. Because Kang is like the biggest adversary to the TVA.
That was him right there.
Which is another thing because it's not supposed to be him.
Oh, it's not?
Nope.
But it looked like him.
I mean, it is him. But that's another Easter egg.
So he's going to become a time cop.
Yup.
That's what it's going to be. Loki's going to be a time... This version of Loki will be a time cop. So it'll be like Doctor
Who kind of.
Yeah.
You see that?
What?
They're trying to say that he was fucking D.B. Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is why I said what I said, because this scene right here.
Come on. What did you expect?
So you see him there as President Loki. But there's in that same exact scene a little earlier in the trailer, he was in that scene and he was dressed up in the TVA outfit in that same scene. So there's two Lokis in that scene. President
Probably
Loki.
he's talking to. That's what he said. What did you expect? That's
What?
probably who he's talking to.
No, I think that's him campaigning to the people. Because that's the thing in the comic. Like, he literally runs for president and gets nominated. I mean, he gets voted in.
Okay.
Like, so that's a...
Was
and I
he a
forgot
time
about that.
cop?
Yes.
Oh, he was?
No, not in the comics. I don't
It makes
remember
me think
him...
of fucking,
I don't remember him working with the TVA in the comics.
Umbrella Academy. That's what it makes me think.
A lot of people are saying that, but this is comics. This was around first.
No, that's not what I mean.
No, I mean, I get it. No, and I'm
So
not
is Umbrella
disputing it.
Academy.
I'm not disputing it.
Umbrella Academy was a comic.
Well, this was still around first.
I get it was around first. And again, it was one character that was, because you never read the comic. The comic's awesome.
No, I do not.
It's a very good comic. You know who wrote it, right?
No.
The guy from the Teenagers.
I don't know, but you're getting sidetracked.
Shit, I did.
You're getting sidetracked.
Teenagers. The song.
We talking MCU.
Yeah, it is not MCU.
Right.
It's definitely not. It was Gabriel's his name, and he.
And you're going to continue to talk about it.
Go ahead. So who's Strucker?
I don't know. But
He's never been in a comic.
I don't remember. Oh, is it the Braun Struckers? Did you watch Gifted?
No,
You didn't, of course.
that was X-Men. That's not MCU.
I mean, technically it is now, sir.
I know, but it was written by somebody else. It wasn't like, because you see like how much effort and thought went into everything when you take into consideration Jarvis was the character. Like, they put a lot of thought and effort into every character that they've done. They knew Wanda was going to be at this point. Like, so that one doesn't have any consideration to deal with the fucking MCU.
Right. Okay, but I think Strucker, if I'm not mistaken, I think Strucker he was a Hydra agent.
Isn't Hydra dead?
Yes, but no, not really. No, because didn't we just see somebody? No, I think Hydra. I guess Hydra.
I mean, when they have to
dead.
tell you the name.
But no, I don't think the Hydra part of it is important. I think it's more so Hydra has a connection with Wanda Maximoff. So these are just like Easter eggs that are being planted, just like to relate you to comic book shit.
Oh, there's the pizza. Keep talking. I'm coming.
His attention's being so short. I felt like it was a trash can over here.
Did you watch Gretel and Hansel?
I did.
Right?
We can talk. We'll write that down. We'll talk about that
Because that was an interesting take on the whole
That's
story.
when you. That's a movie you want to talk about?
Yeah, she's watching it right now.
Oh, okay.
I got it. It says Wolfgang von Strucker, supervillain, fictional supervillain appearing. Yeah, he was part of former Nazi, part of. So maybe it's them doing it, working with that one guy.
No, I think that.
Oh,
that
you
was
just think it's part of her subconscious coming out?
I think that was just connection, just like showing a connection to her because she has a connection to Hydra.
Right. Maybe it's
From
her
the comics.
memories. Yeah. Maybe it's part like this whole thing is.
Right.
Some of her memories are starting to come into it.
Right. But I personally I think it's I'm gonna stand by my theory. I think that it's Mephisto.
What's that? Stuffed cheese bread?
Yeah, with pepperoni.
I think he wants to steal her powers. And I think he needs to push her to a point of breaking or losing her sanity.
Just one.
And I think that's when she's at her truly lowest and weakest, I think that's when he's gonna snap or try to steal her shit. Which means we may not even see that this show. We may see the seeds for it, but we may not actually see it this show, and she may flip. And
No, I think she's gonna flip. If she's gonna flip, it's gonna be.
no,
by the
I
end
mean
of the show.
I'm saying you may not actually see Mephisto, or you may not actually see him in this series. You may just see the seeds planted for him because maybe he's the true villain.
What if all the people are real?
You gonna let me finish my goddamn thoughts?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying maybe he's the true villain of Doctor Strange 2. Maybe she's the pseudo villain. She starts off as the bad guy, and maybe in helping her, Doctor Strange is the one that finally gets to the root of who's actually doing this to her, and you find out it's Mephisto, and he's the big bad of Doctor Strange.
So, she's unlocked her powers in the last 2 years.
Yes.
She's using them unknowingly,
Yes.
creating the fantasy.
No, I still think it's knowingly. I think even though she has no control over it, I think she still has some degree of control because she's actively using her powers, even though it's obvious that she's not the one that's doing this thing that's going on. She's actively using her powers in the scenario. So I think to a degree she has some control. Maybe, it's in her subconscious. So, maybe she knows that she's unconscious, but this subconscious she's living in feels so right or feels so good. It's like, hey, I'm with it. I'll stay here.
Right,
I like
that's what I'm
this.
saying. She woke up one day and Vision's there. They don't understand because the whole time they're like, we don't know how.
And that's true. So that means I think it was a
Maybe Vision's the one. Maybe what's happening is I think maybe the boss. Because what if Vision's doing right now is figuring out her well, he's not real, but would he still have his powers, like his super intellect and everything like
I
that?
mean, he flew in the.
No, I know that's not what I mean. I mean like.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
Mephisto needs to figure out what her powers are, and he's using him.
Oh no, he knows where her powers are, like because that's a big thing in the comic. Like his one, I guess I won't say main goal. A big driving force of his was to steal her powers. Like he.
How did they get them? How did MCU get them?
Ooh.
Wanda and fucking.
What you mean? How did they get them?
Think about it, man. They're X-Men. They're mutants.
Wanda was both. She was an X-Man and an Avenger.
That's not my point, though. She was an X-Men first. She's the daughter of one of the biggest X-Men in the fucking universe. You know what I'm saying? One of the,
And she probably was just one of the characters that they didn't sell off.
Because she was never in any of the X-Men movies, was she?
No.
He was. Quicksilver was.
Yes, Quicksilver was.
Yeah. So maybe they had Wanda's rights and they just borrowed his, and so they bought him.
I think that's what they did. See, that's weird. It's really weird how that happened because I was confused as to how.
Because
she
is
Quicksilver.
She is. I am right in saying she's Magneto's daughter.
Yes.
Who's the mother? Do we know?
I just read that because I was curious about that too. Nobody ever talks about her mother because
Maybe she died at birth.
it's always such a big thing that. Oh, that's why. Because she was just a plain woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She had no particular skills, no powers.
So she got all her powers from her dad.
She was a woman of peace. I mean, technically, I guess in the comics you could say that, yes. In the comics you could say she got her powers from her dad. But in the MCU, she got the mutant gene from her dad. She got her powers from the Infinity Stone.
Wait, what?
Yes, in the MCU, the Infinity Stone gave them their powers. That's why she could control, or that's why she could destroy the Mind Stone, because the Mind Stone was what gave her powers, or what.
When did that happen?
In like Civil War or the first? No, it was the first Avengers, the one where they stormed the that compound, and they was talking about them doing them experiments on the children.
But
Oh, so she was they were experimenting on her on Hydra.
Using the stone.
Which stone? The Mind Stone.
Yeah. And
But
it
how would that?
activated.
But how would that give her reality power?
I mean, that's how mutant genes work. They just manifest. Let me take that back, because technically,
Yeah, fuck that.
in the comics, she didn't get her powers. Since she didn't get her powers from the Reality Stone, from the Infinity Stone, it was explained better, because she was like, I guess she was, depending on how you look at it, either blessed or cursed by a demon when she was born, and the demon's name was Chthon or something. But that's what gave her reality warping powers in the comics. But in the MCU, they said she got it from a stone, and she got it from the Mind Stone, which they put in Loki's spear.
Yeah. That was the thing in his head, which
right.
wasn't in his head.
And that's why she could destroy the Mind Stone.
Huh. I wonder. Because they were using. No, wait. What? They were using. How did she come in contact with it again?
They volunteered themselves for testing
When Hydra had it?
or for experimenting, and that's what they did. Hydra experimented on them, and
When did Hydra ever have their Mind Stone?
I don't know.
Because they had the
They
other
had the
one.
Tesseract.
Yeah, the Tesseract.
I don't remember.
Maybe they used a Tesseract.
No, it was a Mind Stone because they explained that in Infinity War. That's why she was able to destroy it.
I thought she was able to destroy it because she had the power of, I don't know. I don't know. They're her powers. Now with mutants, they can just kind of like, It was a mutant gene.
I'm gonna give you.
I want Wolverine, motherfucker.
I'm gonna give you an exact. Yeah, in the MCU, it said she developed her powers due to exposure to the Mind Stone.
Okay. Him too?
Yeah, because they. I mean, that's. I'm assuming that's how they kept it because that's what happened in the comics. In the comics, they volunteered for testing, and I guess they was like, what did they say? For them to volunteer to be. I don't remember, but I just read this comic back so long ago.
Oh, why? They have a comics that's kind of following the MCU now?
No. I'm explaining why the MCU is doing what it's doing.
Oh.
Based off how it relates to what the comic did.
That crust is stupid.
Why?
The crust. It's fucking stupid.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
Good stupid.
It's not.
What? Bad?
I love this shit.
It's good what? Stupid.
I don't know what you meant. I don't. That's a good question, and I'd have to look that up and find it. But I don't remember. I don't remember Hydra ever having the Mind Stone in the MCU
They did.
because, to be honest, oh, you know what? Hold on. No, I don't because Thanos gave Loki the Mind Stone
But didn't
when he
Loki
sent him.
steal it? Oh no, you let him use it to gather more.
That's what he. Yeah, that was the invasion in 2012
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
first
like,
Avengers movie.
you can give me the Tesseract, then I'll give you this.
I'll give you this
power.
stone.
I'll let you use this stone. To
Right, to help get the Tesseract.
Which you could touch people and turn them and then control them.
Yep. Because he had Hawkeye.
Yep. I think they just should simplify it and be like, yeah, she was a mutant. You know that she's a mutant. They didn't know what a mutant gene was until they entered another universe that told them, this is, we know what this is. This doesn't happen, like, because there's superheroes all over the place. But,
I mean, that's what they're doing now. They said that. I mean, they've retcon. Well, I guess you can't. Well, I won't say retcon, but they've said that that she had the X gene, and the stone just activated her X gene. So they've already admitted that she was a mutant.
oh, okay.
Yeah, they.
I
and
get
this
what
was
you're saying.
recent.
I get what you're saying. It's just the stone actually unlocked it. So,
Yes.
which made her have the reality powers. But she doesn't know that she can control reality. She just knows she can move shit, do shit.
Yes,
with her hands.
and apparently she's learning now
well,
that she has reality.
or
shifting
she's
powers.
lost her mind and it's just unlocked, or someone tricked her and unlocked it. Maybe he came in and did something to cause it to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it might be more of the mindset of, if what you're saying is right, then he came in and he caused it to happen. He pushed it and pushed some buttons and did some shit to get her to snap into it, and she doesn't know what's going on. That's why she's confused, and she does, because if she was creating her reality, and yes, she stopped it and went back, she has that power, but I don't think she realized what she did, type thing.
I think she did because on the same token,
Or maybe she
Remember
is.
when
Maybe
she was
she's
making-
got all these people fucking. That's why the girl confuses her.
think about it. When she was making the dinner, damn, I lost the mustache here. When she was making the dinner, and she just was like, "Fuck it, okay, bitch, let's try something different," and then she used her powers to just voila the meal. I think she has some level of control over what's going on. She knows at least to some degree.
I think she just went, "Oh, this is something I know how to make, quick," and that's what I have left. Because it was just eggs and toast with some meat, and that's all she had left. And I think she went, "Oh, I know how to make this," and it was easy for her to, say, replicate it, because she had done it over and over and over again.
But she magicked it, is what I'm saying.
I know, but it was easy for her to magic because it was easy for her to actually produce it. Where she's never produced the other stuff she tried to produce. She's never made fucking. She's a poor Russian girl. She's never had fucking lobster.
That's beside the point. I don't think that's as important. I think the important fact is you're supposed to understand that she has a tentative grip on her powers, even if she doesn't fully know what she can do.
Right. No, I think she might not be conscious of that she's doing it. I think she might not realize it's her.
I think that's where we disagree. I think she does.
Oh. And she made, because Vision doesn't have the Mind Stone
Because
in his head.
in order for it to have the same stakes or be similar to the story that they're trying to follow, like, she has to make the conscious decision to stay in this universe, in this reality. So I think that lends to her having some type of control over whether she can leave or not. Maybe she doesn't know it, but as of right now, it's probably as simple as her just up and deciding, hey, I don't want to be here no more, and she probably can wake up or leave the reality, but she doesn't know that yet, and I think she's gonna find that out, and or is finding that out, and is still choosing to say, no, I'm gonna stay here. Whatever this is, whatever I'm creating here, it was better than what I'm gonna wake up to. So I'm just gonna stay here, because she has to actively choose to stay in that universe. Because and then another thing too. Somebody brought up the fact that they may introduce Professor X in this series.
That's what I think that's who's talking to her.
No, that's Jimmy Woo,
What?
the Asian FBI guy.
Oh, you can hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I recognize his voice. I've been listening to him for years though, because I used to watch him on not Parks and Recreation, but Fresh Off the Boat. He's the dad on Fresh Off the Boat. I like him a lot. But in the comic, once she had like fabricated her, this little universe or whatever.
So, hold on. So House of M just happened in a different fucking world. Is what they said. The events of the storylines were later indicated to have occurred on Earth 58163, which we are Earth 616, aren't we?
Yeah. I guess that's a retcon. Because I always knew it as happening on Earth 616, but I don't know, maybe it did.
Well, I'm just saying that's what.
I don't ever remember that being specified, is what I'm saying.
That it was on 616?
Mm-hmm. So I just naturally.
Everyone just assumed it was on 616.
Right.
It probably was. They probably never said it, so they could do that on purpose.
Fox.
What?
I was supposed to ask you if you could make some cookies. You got some butter?
I got cookies. Cookie dough.
Okay. Oh, that was great. That's perfect. Okay. But yes, I think we may see Professor X That's a possibility because he was the first person to. He was the first person to try to wake her up out of the thing she was in. So maybe in the MCU, maybe this is how they introduce him.
Probably not in this series, but maybe the movie.
I would say maybe,
or the afterthoughts of the movie.
Maybe he comes in as a voice, a mysterious voice that's talking to her, and you hear the voice, but they don't put a body with it or put a face with it, and they credited it as Professor X. Yes. Because he was the first person to try to wake her up out of it, and that's when she realized that it was a false reality, and then a whole bunch of shit happened, and then she created the new reality where everybody had everything that they wanted, not just her, and then people remembered, and they came back to her, and they was like, "Girl, this still ain't right. You gotta."
Okay, so we were already supposed. This was all fucked up. I assume we were supposed. Wait, was Wanda and that shit supposed to come out last year?
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be coming out last year. Okay, so it was supposed to come out before because Black Widow was supposed to come out in May. So it's supposed to come
It
out.
was supposed to come out in like October. No. Yeah. No, I think it was September because it was supposed to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to come first in August, and then it was WandaVision, and then Loki was December, I think. November or December.
That makes sense because
And they all got pushed
if
back.
you look at this movie shit, March is Doctor Strange, so that would set it up. If it came out in September,
Right.
it would have set it up that way. So
Yeah.
now, so again, it was supposed to come out last year around. Okay, so this was supposed to be already out. Black Widow was supposed to be out. Shang-Chi was supposed to be out.
Shang-Chi.
Eternals was supposed to be out.
Yep.
They were all supposed to be out before this series. In theory.
The only one that really didn't suffer was Spider-Man, but that's because that's like the biggest fucking thing going. Like you can't move Spider-Man back too far.
No, this game is fucking.
Mm-hmm.
People bought PlayStation 5s just for that game.
I have the game and don't even have a PlayStation 5.
That's fucking nerve-wracking.
Somebody bought me the game for Christmas.
I want to see them in order because they had them in phases.
Like the new order?
Oh, is it New Order?
Yeah. Because Black Widow is still coming out in the theaters, but I think it's coming out this May now.
Yes, that's what it just showed.
Shang-Chi,
Black Widow's this month. Shang-Chi's
June or July. And then the Eternals is November of this year, I think. And I think that's it for 3 movies this year.
Do I care about Eternals? I don't know nothing about them. Why should I be interested?
It's actually kind of difficult to give you a reason as to why you should be interested. Because to be honest, like the Eternals are just like the originators, I guess you could say. They're like the first.
Yeah, I know they're
The first of
eternal people.
Yeah, the first of the superpowered beings.
Yeah, which they're just superpowered beings, right?
Yes, but they're long lived, super long lived. So they've been
Yeah, they
alive
don't
for
live here.
years
They
and
live on
years.
the fucking moon, don't they?
No, I think what they're gonna do is that they live here, and they've been. I'm assuming the plot of their movie is that maybe somebody fucked with them.
Why are they giving Hawkeye a fucking movie?
And put them out of their misery or something, not out of their misery, but put them in some kind of trance, and that they're walking amongst us humans and don't know that they're Eternals.
Yeah, don't they look just like humans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And supposedly the snap is what like
Wakes
awakens them, right? And then they remember, oh, we're fucking Eternals. But it's supposed to be like a look through like Marvel history. So it's supposed to show like
What about Shang-Chi? Who
it's
the
supposed to
fuck
span
is
like
Shang-Chi?
thousands of years.
Because I can tell you this much. I watched that fucking.
It's the Bruce Lee of the MCU.
Yeah, I know, but I watched that one. What is that? Is there a trailer out for it yet? No. I watched. What the hell was it? Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was. I couldn't even get 4 episodes, man. That shit was boring as fuck. Like, I got
Iron Fist is boring.
dying to get that.
He's just a hand-to-hand combatant. So it's like, bitch, if I got powers,
You fuck.
what are you gonna do with me?
Yeah.
So it's like he low-level like criminal type fighting.
I know. This other guy's not that. He's not the same thing.
Who?
Shang-Chi.
No, I think he has an element of
I'm looking.
magic or something to his powers.
But Shang-Chi itself was based on Bruce Lee, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day.
Oh yeah, he can. That's what it is. He can create countless duplicates of himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he can.
Naruto.
Yeah, he can recreate multiple members.
Oh, he was in House M?
Everybody was in House of M.
That's true.
It was a huge.
I never saw this guy in my life.
The House of M is probably.
He have his own comic?
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Special first appearance, it was in 73. So he's a master of Kung Fu that can duplicate himself into multiple duplications.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he got a comic.
The master of Kung Fu. The hands of Shang-Chi. Alright.
Yeah, his movie. I'm assuming his movie is gonna be. I mean, to be honest, I don't know because
Heroes for Hire, maybe?
he's gonna be the first one. He's gonna be like the first major Marvel hero to not really have superpowers.
I mean, duplication.
Or I mean, like superpowers that you can act. I mean, I guess if he made 10 of himself and they was all kung fu.
Because so was
and
look at fucking Captain America. He's not impervious, he was just super strong human.
It's different. He got a fucking shield and he
Okay.
can do all this other athletic ass shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but if I send 20 of my
I don't
guys
know.
at you,
It's true. Because I don't care how good he is. 20 motherfuckers.
he was in Infinity Stones, obviously, back in the day in the actual Apocalypse saga.
The Infinity Stones came from the 10 rings.
The what?
The 10 rings.
What's the 10 rings have to do with him?
The Mandarin. He wore 10 rings. The 10 rings of power.
I know. What's that have to do with this guy? Shang-Chi.
That's his villain.
Oh, it's the Mandarin.
Yes, the true Mandarin that they said was in
Oh.
Iron Man 3, but was not.
No. Okay, so they're probably going to bring back the real Mandarin. Oh, he dealt with Hydra. I mean, Hulk. I guess he's been around. I just never seen. I read a lot of X-Men, so if he wasn't an X-Men.
Well, I mean, let's be perfectly honest. The Avengers didn't really become that popular until the movies started coming out.
I know who they were.
I know I knew who they were, but people were more on X-Men because even though the X-Men movies that had come out were shitty, they were fucking comic book movies, and people still loved them and still watched them. So way more people were familiar with the X-Men than the Avengers.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't even see that. Yeah, because Paul I be having to tell him about the Avengers, but he know about the X-Men.
Yeah, well, I know about X-Men because that was the only shit I could find.
Because they only sell the popular shit.
No. It was X-Force, and it wasn't even X-Men. I had one fucking
But still,
place.
they sell what comics is a area-based business. They gonna sell what's popular in the area.
Well,
They'll
this
sell it.
is a different time, dude. I didn't go to a fucking comic book store. I went to a fucking Rite Aid.
Oh,
That
that's
was
different.
downtown.
Now, Rite Aid.
They had a fucking thingy that spun around that had like 5 comics.
Yeah, Rite Aid
Like
gonna
most
sell
of the comics
cheap
were like
comics.
most of the comics were like old tiny comics. You know what I'm saying? Like Gilbert and whatever the fuck. I don't even know. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
they
talking
gonna
about.
say it was cheap. They didn't give a damn.
Yeah, they got the fucking shit on sale. The stuff that no one sold.
Exactly.
So it was X Factor and all that shit. That's like all I could get. And even then. But then I started, X-Men was on TV probably. The cartoon is probably why I was more of an X-Men fan. Because the cartoon was huge when I was a kid.
Yes.
In the 90s, it
When I
was
tell
like
you-
huge. That was the song?
Yes.
I don't even remember.
How do you not remember that?
Because I don't remember any of that.
I remember the theme song, and I remember Storm with her way over the fucking top, fucking little speeches before she do something. This bitch before she made any move. By the thunder of the gods, from the lightning that rains down,
Yeah.
like a 10-minute speech, girl. I've been fried your ass.
They were always fighting the Sentinels.
Now, that was one cool thing that fucking Fox did do, right?
What? The
The
Sentinels?
Sentinels. Because
No.
that scene when them Sentinels, well, I guess it was multiple scenes because
How
they
did the
kept showing how they
Sentinels
kept coming in.
fit into not the MCU, but the MCU and comic book world?
Like Marvel in the comics, how does Sentinels fit?
Yeah, at some point you'd have to be like, okay, well, there's Spider-Man. Why aren't the Sentinels fucking going after Spider-Man? Why aren't the Sentinels going after fucking Iron
Spider-Man is not a mutant.
I know, but again, it's more the point of there's people running around that are fucking
No, Sentinels only go after the X gene.
right. But why is the hate still there? Is it still there? I don't even know if it's still there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I ain't read an X-Men comic in a long while, but that's like
because I can't imagine them bringing that hate into the MCU.
absolutely they will.
How?
I don't know how, but I think they will because
Maybe Wanda will cause it.
it's a
Because she'll
huge,
fucking kill a bunch of people.
Right.
And they'll find out that she was a mutant.
yes, but it's a huge pivotal part of X-Men.
It is.
Is the constant fight for, I guess, equality, I guess you could say. Cause
But
you
that's
got,
my point. How do the Avengers and all that stuff justify that happening?
they don't really, Fox, now you gotta, come on now, these comics was written way back when.
No. What I'm
So-
saying is, in the universe itself,
A lot of
at
this
some
shit
point,
that's happening
it,
is,
it has to, like, I'm wondering if it's gone away because you've intertwined them so much that you can't really have a head Sentinel hunting down Wolverine if he's a fucking Avenger. You know what I'm saying?
not true.
Why not?
Because the Sentinels hunt mutants. If they do the Sentinels, they're gonna hunt mutants. It don't matter who the fuck you
But
are,
maybe,
Avenger
okay,
or not.
then it can't. I don't think a nation though. It's my point is a nation itself hunting down its own kind is a little outdated. That's my point. It doesn't like
No, it's not.
for one, China's not going to let you see that
It's not.
because they don't want the people going. Oh wait, we're not allowed to have that happen. That's bad.
Hey, Fox, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now.
Well,
if they
we'll
do,
see.
if they do Sentinels,
Well, they
they're
don't
going-
have. They don't even have to ever.
matter of fact, in the first X-Men movie when they did the Sentinels, they literally had Sentinels hunting down mutants and
No.
killing mutants.
I know, but that's Fox universe.
It doesn't matter what universe.
No, I know. but-
Disney's gonna have a fucking rated R section.
Hold on, I know that's not my point though. We're not talking about that. What we're talking about is the MCU has set up this whole planetarian thing, okay? And if that's the case, then the U.S. like the world has to be on board with it to an extent. And then how are the it just seems like it's one of those things that would be the same. Like, because to me, being a mutant was the same as being gay back in the '60s when it was written.
Oh, Fox, you looking way too deep into this shit.
Well, was it not?
You looking way too deep into this shit.
Well,
I mean, it may have
I-
been,
I
yes.
am,
But at the basis of this comic, literally, all this shit is about is mutants protecting people from forces that would wipe their asses out and getting no respect for it. That is literally
Okay.
what X-Men is about.
Okay, well, that's I could see them doing that. I could see them making them second-class citizens,
Yes, and having people be
especially if
mean
you
to
get,
them and
especially
shit.
if you actually add in some mutant villains
Mm-hmm.
that start fucking shit
Because
up.
there's
on
no
the
way
planet.
there's no way you can bring Magneto in and do any nice version of him. He hates humans and would gladly kill a human
I know, but he would
in a heartbeat.
but
You can't bring him in
I know, but he's
and make him nice.
But it's like, how has he not been involved already? Like, he's so integral in the universe. He's such a big baddie. It's like, how did he not have them already? That's what's crazy.
They haven't had access to him, and Fox just
I guess
never.
you could- I guess
Fox
you
never
could
wanted to pull the trigger on
Well,
him
I'm
and
just
make
saying
him
you could
the
cha-
bad.
You could change his past to be more about maybe a different, maybe up it to the Armenian genocide, and make him an Armenian instead of a Jew.
Why can't he be a Jew?
Because it's so long ago. He'd be so fucking old if he was living in a concentration camp. He'd be
So
like 90
Magneto doesn't age. To be
Yeah.
honest, I was mad that they had him old in
Oh,
the first
really?
X-Men movies. No, him nor Professor X. They don't age.
They don't age.
No, they look the same age throughout all fucking comics, just like every other superhero. It is a general understanding that superheroes age much less rapidly than us. Because, matter of fact, if you think about it, when the first X-Men movie came out, 2003-ish, 2-ish, when did,
What if the gene starts happening now, right? And he's part, like, his family, like, Magneto just comes in the future, and you make his past something to do with what happened with one of the MCU disasters that's happened. Maybe the one that caused the Civil War.
I mean, you could do that. You could say, because, I mean, he definitely might feel some kind of way about what happened in Sokovia.
No,
So-
what I mean is he's a teenager when Sokovia happens, which awakens his inner gene,
Mm.
and then he can be. Why not?
Because then you can't say Quicksilver and Wanda are his children.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm pretty sure they're probably going to do. I mean, if you get Magneto, why not? Why wouldn't you? You have him, you can do him now. Why wouldn't you acknowledge that connection?
Because you can make him young and use him for fucking 20 years.
No, it doesn't fucking matter. They can de-age people. Get an actor that you can use for another 15 years, and then you de-age him for another 10 years after that. Like, in 15 years, Marvel will have enough money to
They
do...
have enough money now.
This is true. They have enough money to do whatever the fuck they want. They can de-age you, and they made Robert Downey Jr. look like a fucking 20-year-old. And outside of the fact that his face was scarily smooth, it looked pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I get you.
And then, not to mention, they super aged Chris Evans and made him look fucking ancient, and it looked good. He looked great as an old man.
Ooh.
Chris Evans in Endgame when he was old, they put all them
that
old.
shit's bullshit because white people don't age well.
I didn't say it, you did.
Well,
But a meme comes to mind that I won't show. Did I ever show it to you, the one with the Chucky doll heads?
no.
Fox! Oh! I won't say no more. But get ready for next week, Fox. I've already heard reports that things ramp up
I wish
considerably.
it was 2 episodes.
I don't think you're gonna need 2 episodes. And also, it's
I
not.
wish it was an hour.
It is gonna be an hour.
Oh, is it?
It's only the sitcom actual episodes are 30 minutes. It's like the first 3 episodes, and then after that they go to like 40 minutes or so, I think. Because there's only 2 more. There's only 3 more. There's only 3 more decades to go through, and I'm assuming they're gonna do 2 decades in the next episode, and then maybe come to present day, I guess. I don't know, but there's the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. We already saw a glimpse of the 70s, how it ended with when it colorized. That's basically going into the Brady Bunch. The 80s, I think, is going to be, I think it was, what was the 80s TV show that they did? 90s was Full House. I'm thinking. I'm almost certain the 90s was Full House with the twin babies. Okay, but wait a minute now, Fox. That's strange. Hold on. Because she was pregnant in the 70s. But she didn't have the babies until the 90s.
Who?
Sir, keep the fuck up. Keep the fuck up. So you remember at the end of the episode, she was pregnant.
Yep.
That was in the 60s. Or transitioning to the 70s because the color changed and it went
No,
to...
60s was the color change. That's when color came in TVs. It was the 60s.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying it's transitioning into the 70s is what I'm saying.
Oh.
So you kind of saw a glimpse of that. The 70s will be the Brady Bunch. But she didn't have a baby until the 90s. And the 90s was when they had the kids in like the Full House episodes. Or it might have been Roseanne, but I think it's Full House because they actually had twins in Full House. And those twins were Elizabeth Olsen's sisters. Like, you just have to. Like, why would you not do that? It had her older sisters in it. It was a 90s sitcom. You might as well, I mean, it had twins in it. It was, come on now. It just seems like that's what they're doing, I think. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck she's going to be pregnant for 2 decades.
It changes at her whim.
So it's gonna flip fast. So
If you change
episode
the day,
3 is gonna.
She was
flip
not
pretty
pregnant,
fast.
and she was like this, dude. Do keep that in mind.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. That would.
She was
speak
walking
for,
around in that fancy ass fucking leotard thingy.
But I'm saying that should speak for it happening quicker and not taking 20 fucking years. Is what I'm saying.
Years is not the point. You're not understanding time. It's not time. It's whenever she feels like changing the reality.
I mean, I'm a little embarrassed that I kind of. Whatever. Moving on. Anyway.
But
That means the next episode is going to ramp up pretty quickly.
Hopefully.
So they may go through 3. They may go through
I'm
3
gonna
decades
finish it.
in this next episode.
That sucks.
What?
He can be gone. Unless they find him in another fucking alternate universe where he's created without the Mind Stone.
I mean, I don't think so. I think you still got his body. I think they're going to figure out a way. Boom. Vision comes back in Black Panther 2.
Really?
Shuri has.
The body. Well, it's still in fucking Wakanda.
And she has his subconscious.
What? Hold on.
That you remember they were separating, they were downloading basically his neural network, his
As much
subconscious.
as she could, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't get to do it all, but I'm assuming from what they have, they should have enough
To create another
vision.
Yeah.
Which I hope they do White Vision. He was white in the comics. There was a period of time where he was white.
Why wouldn't he be? He's the white actor playing him now.
No, not white as in Caucasian.
Oh my!
His entire body was white.
Oh really?
Like it was a white version of himself.
Which he can change into anything, right?
Yes. Yeah. Vision can shape. Well, not shapeshift, but Oh, wait a minute now. I just got a spoiler that may or may not be true. And I'm kind of a little bit upset about it.
It ain't true.
It may not be, but it may be.
Well, let's hear it.
Supposedly, the White Vision may be introduced in this series during the 80s, because the White Vision was in the 80s.
Oh, he turns himself white in the 80s?
He was white.
Maybe it's a costume.
That's probably what it is. It would be like he had a costume or something
Yeah.
and was white.
Yeah. So, dude, Love and Thunder? Ooh.
I can't wait to see Christian Bale. But I'm trying to figure
Who's
out what
Christian Bale gonna play?
he's playing Gore the God Butcher.
Who the fuck? What the fuck did you just say?
Gore the God Butcher. He is a character.
For Thor?
Yes. He was
Does Thor have... So, in theory, right now, it's Thor with... Is that what's gonna happen? Is it gonna have fucking?
What? Okay.
Is it gonna have the Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy with him?
Yes.
Because he left with them.
Thor is gonna be in the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie,
Yeah, I
and
know.
the Guardians of the Galaxy are gonna be in Love and Thunder.
Okay. So Love and Thunder and Gore, there's gonna be two movies that kind of play together.
Yes, I'm assuming one leads directly
With Doctor
to the other.
Strange.
I don't know. I don't know if they feed in. Well, I think so, kind of, because I think the multiverse.
Where's Hulk?
Damn, Fox. You
Go
jumping subjects fast as shit.
I don't, but I'm thinking Thor.
Calm the fuck down. I'm trying to keep up with you, and you jumping all over the place. I was about to say,
The multiverse.
I think the multiverse thing is gonna have I think it's gonna have effects in other movies, obviously, because
Yes.
in Thor, if they do Gore the God Butcher, if they keep to that story, that Thor's gonna get like his real first challenge from a villain, like the first villain that could beat his ass. Because in the comics, it literally took 3 Thors to defeat him. It was
Defeat who?
Gore, the
Gore,
God
okay.
Butcher.
God
That he got his name from. He literally went across the universe
And butcher
slaying gods.
people
Oh.
just call themselves gods.
Wait! I gotta tell you this story because this would interest you. Like, his origin story. Like he's some, I don't know his planet or his race, but he's some creature, and he was on this planet, and it's him and his wife
Uh-huh.
and their kids, and basically they're all like this super religious race that believes in gods, and his family was always telling him God will provide. He lost his mom and his dad, and then his wife died, and then all of his kids died, and all of them they all kept saying God will provide, the gods will provide.
Yeah.
And he ended up flipping out over that shit. Fuck the gods, basically. And he got exiled by his people. And as he was wandering in exile, these 2 gods that were fighting fell right in front of him as they was fighting. And due to his rage and the intensity that he had, the sword that one of the gods had, which was the original fucking symbiote, the granddaddy to all fucking venoms, the necromancer, it literally latched onto him, and he becomes Gore the God Butcher. Gave him these powers. He ended up killing the other fucking god.
Oh, so he's just a normal dude.
And he gets his power from the sword.
A symbiote.
Yes, which
He's
is
basically a fucking.
He's a venom, essentially.
Yeah.
An early version of a venom. The original, I guess you could say.
Yeah, he is the guy, the one that birthed Venom.
Well, no, the sword is.
Yeah, well.
The sword is.
The sword is a weapon created by a god, I thought.
Yes.
Which is the
And
symbiote.
yes. But yeah, it took 3 Thors from 3 different timelines to defeat him. It was like the Thor that he met, the young Thor that he met and defeated. Thor cut his hand off, but I'm assuming it was a stalemate, I guess you could say. But he ended up getting away. And then old Thor, he goes and gets old Thor in the future, and then the other one was King Thor. Either way it go, it took 3 Thors to defeat him.
When they say gods, they just mean they're gods, and civilizations that call them gods.
He said anyone that was worshipped as a god.
Yes. Okay, that's.
Anyone that wore the mantle of a god, he was out to slaughter them. He recreated versions of his wife and his son. And once his wife saw him fighting Thor and saw him holding his own against Thor, she uttered the words. She said, no one in the universe can stand up to you. You are my god now. And he right on the spot slit the bitch throat and said, I am no one's god.
So that he's after Thor.
Yeah, he's trying to kill Thor. He's the god of thunder.
Yeah, I Earth people worshipped him.
But he fucking. I'm trying to. I think he's gonna be a one-off.
Like in that one series or one act.
Yeah, because I think either the next big villain, I think, is either gonna be, it's either gonna be Kang the Conqueror, or it's gonna be Galactus. I think that's because if you're introducing Fantastic Four next year, like.
Yeah, Galactus is huge in this.
That's what I was about to say. Galactus is huge, and he shouldn't follow far if you're doing. Or I will take a Doom, but Doom is not a Avengers level villain to me. He's just a really, really big Fantastic Four villain. Although he has,
I mean, he can be the fucking.
he's fucked with the X-Men as well too.
He's on Doctor Strange level. He fights with Doctor Strange.
True, but it's not like a universe breaking
not.
threat where you got to bring everybody together.
No,
because
but he
ultimately,
could be
Doctor
someone- he
Strange
could
would
be someone-
defeat him.
But
Ultimately.
he's also someone that could. He's the type of person that would try to use Galactus like Loki.
Yes, he would
Thanos.
seize the moment. Yeah.
Use Thanos to gain power.
Yeah, he's definitely an opportunist in that manner. So yes, maybe he comes in and maybe he brings about the big bad. Maybe he makes a deal with Galactus or something along those lines, and say he promises Galactus Earth for power or some shit like that, and Galactus comes to collect.
The
and
Silver
they
Surfer.
have to fuck him up.
Man, they could make a beautiful Silver Surfer nowadays.
I mean, he's gonna look dope.
He's
I
gotta be
just wonder, is he
involved.
gonna look like?
They own him too, don't they?
I just wonder, is he gonna look like the Terminator?
If they're gonna bring in
That
Galactus, they gotta have Silver Surfer.
That's his herald.
Because Silver Surfer is probably gonna be the first person.
That's who you see before you see Galactus.
Well, it used to be, but
I hope he's not a fucking cloud like he was in that last fucking movie.
What movie?
The Fantastic Four movie.
I don't think I saw that one.
The second one back in the day.
Is it? Oh, the second one.
The
back in
original
day?
second one.
Oh,
That was they did a version of Galactus.
Oh yeah, I remember. I
It was
saw
just a
It's
fucking
stupid.
cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it didn't have fucking CPU power to make a fucking Galactus.
Well, this is true.
He's
they
like the
would
size
need
of
to-
the planet, isn't he?
Yeah, he's massive,
Yeah. Like literally, he looks at the planet like,
and he's a
I'm gonna
planet
eat it.
eater.
yeah, that's my food. You humans are now food. You don't want to be,
But you are.
but you are. Welcome to being a pig.
Fucking I hope they I hope they reveal some stuff. Like I supposedly, if this is the jumping off point now, I don't know, but I'm not really all that excited for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
I don't even know what the fuck that's gonna be about.
I mean, it feels like it's gonna be a political thing. Like it's gonna be Captain America. Sam and Bucky trying to find a way to make the U.S. be okay with Sam being Captain America. That's what it feels like it's gonna be. It doesn't feel like it's gonna be all that big of a story.
Is he or
Cap gave him the shield, but apparently the government is gonna take it from him because it's still the government's property, and they're gonna give it to another guy because obviously they can pick a guy that's gonna play right, do the right thing. So they're gonna pick another guy and give him the shield, and he's
Are
gonna
they
be
gonna
like
give
the
him the
pseudo
juice,
Captain
juice?
America. I'm not sure about that. If he actually becomes a super soldier or not. But supposedly
yeah, I never saw the trailer yet.
that it's about Bucky and Sam. I'm assuming they exposed some kind of conspiracy about something. I don't know, but it just. They haven't hyped me up for it enough. Like, there's no big something to make me be like, oh yeah, I need to see this for this reason.
Yeah, because who are they really fighting? Hydra's gone.
Yes, that's what I feel like. I feel like it's just gonna be them against the government. Maybe the government maybe there's a mission or something that he fucks up as Captain America, and maybe they go and fix it or something like that. and he ends up earning the shield that way, or somehow. I don't know, but it just.
I don't know. It just the MCU's got too galactical for them.
I mean, no, they just have to bring more.
I think it's going to be less. I
They
don't
just
think
have
it's
to
gonna,
bring more credible threats to Earth.
Well, I don't think it's going to have anything to really. I think it's just going to be some side story thing to kind of.
I mean, it may be along the. It may have something to do with the secret invasion. I forgot about that.
The Krulls?
The Skrulls
Skrulls?
and the Kree. But they're switching it up instead of the Skrulls like
Because the
infiltrating.
Skrulls have made peace with us.
Yes. So
There wasn't many left.
supposedly they're like gonna be exposed in some way, and it's gonna be like humans against the Skrulls, like not recognizing them as allies, and ultimately it ends up being humans and Skrulls versus the Kree. Supposedly.
In what?
Because the Kree are the big
What's
bad.
that going to be in?
That's. I'm assuming they're gonna probably do some of that in this, because that's a earthly situation, because all the Skrull are on Earth,
And there's
or
they
in
can
that
deal with
that
them.
thing orbiting.
They're not superhuman either.
Right.
They can deal
Well,
with them.
some of them are. They're super Skrulls.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, these guys can deal with them. Bucky's pretty strong.
Well, yeah,
Bucky's on
yeah.
the same level as.
I
Captain
mean, yeah,
America.
Bucky and Sam, yeah, they could deal with superpower beings. They can.
Bucky is Captain America. Just
Essentially.
Yeah.
Well, he's even more than Captain America.
yeah,
I
he
would
got
say.
a fucking
That
arm.
arm, yeah. That's an instant shield automatically, and it's also
And
shield
then
and
you add-
offensive weapon.
And then you add in the fact that you don't know what the fuck Black Panther shit could have done.
Oh yeah, they got. Oh, that is true, because they teased that too. They said that in this series we'll get to see all the cool things that they put in the vibranium arm.
Yeah, because he could be like.
So they probably have like blasters and shit,
Little
rocket
finger.
launchers. Yeah,
Finger shoots a fucking rocket that fucking.
right. Yeah, they'll probably have all kind of cool shit. That'll be dope to see, I guess. And then, and I gotta admit, there was a flying scene with Sam or Falcon flying, and he's being chased by a fucking plane that's shooting at him. It's pretty fucking dope. I gotta admit, like the way he retracts the wings and like flips in the air, and like there's one point where he like comes up over a hill and he retracts the wings, and then he literally like does like a crawl jump off the fucking rock thing and goes back into flight. Like it's I mean they did some pretty cool things in that little sequence, I will admit, with him flying.
So we don't know what the Spider-Man's gonna be yet.
I think we do. Well, I think I do.
What?
I think it's gonna be multiverse. I think the multiverse is gonna interrupt him trying to clear his name. I think.
Clear his name.
Yes.
Oh yeah, remember he's.
Yeah, he's being blamed for killing Mysterio, and also
Oh, that's right. They
everybody-
made him the villain. They did the Black Knight or Dark Knight thing.
Yeah, and everybody knows who he is now. He's been doxxed.
Yeah.
So he's going to. My assumption is he's going to go to Doctor Strange, because with Tony Stark being dead, the only other person that he knows in New York that would provide shelter for him would be Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange will probably offer to fix it magically, and or maybe he'll ask Doctor Strange to fix it magically, and Doctor Strange won't do it, and so that sets him out on a path of trying to clear his name. But supposedly Kraven the Hunter is supposed to be in this movie, so I think that's going to be like a backstory. Like he's going to be being hunted all while he's trying to do this, while he's trying to clear his name as well. Because he's still got his powers, so he's always going to be Spider-Man. He don't need suits or tech or anything like that. Well, I guess he needs tech for the web.
And Mysterio's dead, right? He killed himself.
No, I don't think he's dead. I think he's still alive.
Okay. He's gonna be the next. So he's the ultimate villain.
I think the Sinister Six is.
Oh, so he's just ruling it. He's gonna basically step back and rule it from the. Because doesn't he control it anyway? Because I'm hoping we see.
I think the plan.
I really hope we see fucking Doc Ock.
I think the plan for the Sinister Six is already in motion, and I think Mysterio is acting out part of the plan. I think part of the plan was for Mysterio to get to paint Peter Parker as a villain. So I guess now that he's a villain, he has everybody's looking for him. He has nowhere to hide. Like, he's on the run. I guess to an extent that makes him easier to catch or to stop. Or also, I guess it just gets them out their way so that they can do whatever they want to do. So, and I think that is what causes the Sinister Six to form. Because you already got all 6 of them in the fucking MCU. I mean, in the...
No, you don't have Doc Ock.
He just signed on.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Who?
Alfred Molina.
The original?
Yes.
Oh.
They're bringing, supposedly everybody from the original movies is coming back. They're bringing back Jamie Foxx as Electro. They're bringing back Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man. They're bringing back Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy.
What?
Tobey Maguire is coming back. Kirsten Dunst is coming back as MJ. Alfred Molina signed on. Supposedly Willem Dafoe signed on. I don't know how true that is.
So it's the multiverse. So basically, it's going to start cracking.
Yes, and I think all of the villains are gonna.
But it's not gonna get fixed until it's gonna start cracking. Like it'll start cracking in this, but it seems like Spider-Man is gonna be where it starts cracking.
Yeah, it gets worse, or it starts to get worse.
I wonder if Love and Thunder deals with it too.
No, that comes out after Doctor Strange.
No, it doesn't. It comes out before.
When?
It comes out to February. Doctor Strange.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, then it will. Which is how he's able to. That makes sense. Then that would be how he's able to go and get the other 2 Thors to help him defeat Gore.
Okay.
Because I think they're rolling time travel, universe travel.
Fucking it all.
They're
up.
rolling it all into one as the multiverse. The multiverse involves time travel, dimension travel, all of that.
As you travel through time, you make more universes. Every time you end up fucking something up. I go back in time, I've made a new universe.
Yes.
It starts from that point on and goes forward with me in it. It's completely different than the one I left.
Yes.
It's not me changing the future. And I have
not necessarily. Supposedly,
if nothing happens.
Supposedly, there's a thought process that thinks that the timeline you left continues on. It just becomes an alternate reality. You exist in that timeline and you still live on to carry out that fate. But now you've created another timeline after you go back and change whatever you changed.
Yeah.
Where you're free to live out whatever or do whatever in that timeline. But the other one continues to exist with an alternate you in it that still
not if you leave.
Continues to that fate.
No, I think
I'm not saying that is true, but I'm saying
I'm pretty sure the way she explained it was when you come back, you're there, and if I go back to the original spot, I'm there. But if I'm not there, I'm not there. Type time travel. That's why you get the alternate versions. Because if people...
What you're missing is if you go back and change something, once you create that new alternate timeline, you're not that you anymore. That you still exists. You become the new alternate you. You are the new alternate you. So you're not that you anymore. That you continues to exist, but you become an alternate you in a new reality. You're no longer the old you.
Right. But traveling through them, I wonder if that's the thing that's not possible. Between the different realities.
If you have the power, because there are characters that have like dimension jumping powers where they can move through dimensions and through reality. Like,
well, no, that's what I'm saying. So the reason why there's an infinite amount of universes is because time's been around for a very long time, which means there's been a lot of species and different things that have been able to travel through time.
yes.
So every time they go back, they create a new one. That's why there's already, because if you think about it, we just started traveling through time. Why would there be another timeline already over here that we, you know what I'm saying, we have only done it once.
Right.
But in reality, there's a lot of other creatures that are just, like you said, Gore the Conqueror, or not Gore, but what's his name? Did we talk about first?
Kang.
Kang. he travels through time, and every time he does it, he creates new realities. So, especially if he's the type of person that goes and fucks shit up, which it sounds like he does. You know. So it's gonna be interesting how they play it.
Well, I mean, I think it's just a one-off. Well, not a one-off, but I think it's just this phase. Like, I think by the end of this phase, like, everything will be back to uniform. Everyone will know that different universes exist, but the only people that will be able to interact and deal with those universes will be the people with the powers that can jump universes. That could be four.
Yes.
Like, and we'll get back to the singular story of Earth 616
fighting somebody else.
Yes, moving forward to whatever Phase 5 is.
Which could be. So
it's got to be X-Men. Phase 5 has got to be X-Men.
They might not even bring Galactus in.
Oh, they got, or maybe he's the big bad of Phase 5. Maybe they just set the seeds for him. Because I mean, I'm fine with him not being in the first Fantastic Four movie. To me, I feel like personally, Doom should be the villain of the first Fantastic Four movie. Like, even though they've done it twice already and done it wrong.
Into a villain.
But that's what I was about to say.
Well, he was always he's kind of a dick in the first place.
Yes, he was an asshole, but he has a thirst for power.
When he actually gets power, he really.
Yes. Yeah. What's the saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and that's his hunt. Is he wants to be powerful. So, and he wants to rule.
Well, one of the ways to rule is to be like Krang.
But he's loved in
be
his.
able to travel through space and time.
Well, he doesn't have those kind of powers.
I understand that, but maybe
he just has super
maybe
fucking intelligence.
It starts happening. This breakdown of the universe, the multiverse.
It's going to open the doors for a lot of people, and I think that's what's going to be the shakeup, because.
So basically, Eternals and the other ones are going to be just.
That's just going to be like a look through time, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be one of those movies that's not going to have any kind of conflict to it, really.
What's
like they haven't even really announced a villain to that bitch.
What do they call the movies that start people that teach you their fucking past?
I don't know.
The first, like Black Widow. Obviously, Black Widow movie isn't taking.
Origin story.
Yeah, origin story. So basically,
I mean, it probably will be, but supposedly it's supposed to go. It's supposed to go through the decades, though, or the eons. It's supposed to literally be like a history of Marvel. Is what I took when I read about it as I was being.
Because they are eternal.
Yes, they've been around forever, and it's literally supposed to go through their lives throughout the years and how things have changed, or maybe it's a glitch, like maybe because they've waken up because of the snap, maybe it's just like them cycling through memories as they're waking up, and maybe it's not a whole movie of that, maybe that's just part of it, like as they're one by one, as they're coming to and they're flooding memories are flooding in, and it's eons and eons of things that have happened, and maybe some of it is shown, and maybe that's why what was said, but from what I read, like it's like they said, it's like a look back at the history of the Marvel universe.
Okay, well hopefully they put that one right on the fucking TV.
I mean, they're gonna have to do something to make it jazz up, because I'm not really the only thing that got me interested even in the slightest was that it's supposed to have the first openly gay couple in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in it. Two of them are gay. Two of the Eternals. And they're in a relationship. So that's kind of a thing. Even though you didn't hire two gay actors to play them. Like, let's be perfectly honest. Like, stop saying you're being inclusive if you're not really being inclusive.
Can you think of some gay actors that would have played those parts better?
It ain't about whether they would have played the part better. Like, bitch, if you need a gay actor, go find a gay actor. If they suck, they just suck. We need representation. We don't give a damn about good acting.
Get the fuck out of here. That's why you watch the MCU. But everybody they picked has been on.
I mean, come on, let's be perfectly honest. Brian Tyree Henry, I'm not saying he's a horrible actor. He's okay. The things that I've seen him in, I've liked him
Is
in.
Brie Larson?
He's great as Paperboy. No, I don't think so. I think she's straight.
I don't have any idea.
I think she's straight. Captain Marvel's gay though.
I know. And it's,
She's a lesbian.
yeah.
I don't know why they don't really just come out and say that either, because they kind of tease the little.
Because it was in the 90s.
I don't give a fuck. Like, bitch, they could have. Nobody knows what you do indoors in
No,
your
that's
own
not
home.
what it
So when
is.
they got together behind closed doors, they could have fucking
They
been
were.
affectionate or
They
kissed.
seemed- well, they didn't kiss, no.
They were just in talking like old friends. I'm
Because
like,
I
nah,
don't think
bitch.
they have really made a relationship on that level yet. Because again, it's one of those things. They're in the army, dude. That's something you get kicked out for. Don't ask, don't tell. That's what that was. Don't ask, don't tell.
If you really think that they playing that deep into that shit,
It was the 90s. It had to be an
I
age
think
group.
they just didn't want they just didn't want to put a fucking gay couple on screen. Is what the fuck is happening.
I think it shows you what
That's
the
what's
problem
going the fuck
with,
on.
one of the problems with the
But
90s
here we are.
is we were very
When did Captain
don't ask,
Marvel
don't
come
tell
out?
type shit.
Captain Marvel came out in 2018.
Yeah,
So
but
here
it was
we are.
made in 2016.
Right. So that is true. It was shot earlier than that. So here we are 5 years later, and now they finally ready. They finna put a gay couple on screen. And let's be
I don't
honest.
give a shit.
folks.
I'm not gonna see nobody kissing anyway. I don't want that in my Marvel movie.
I do. Well, I don't want it in my Marvel movie, but if you're gonna put it in there, put it the fucking there right.
But don't put it in there. What the fuck do I need to see it for? I mean, okay,
It might serve a purpose.
I doubt it.
If
Sex scenes don't serve purpose anymore.
who said it's sex scene? I said kissing, bitch. Ain't nobody saying nothing about no damn sex.
Oh, okay, kissing's fine.
Right.
I don't mind
What if you
kissing.
want? What if you're trying to establish the fact? I need you to understand that this person cares about this person deeply.
No, I don't mind
So that later-
That's different.
So that later, when this person is in danger,
That's fine.
it doesn't seem strange when this other person
I'm not mad
sacrifices
about
himself for
that. I'm
something.
talking about sex scenes. I don't think.
Fox ain't saying nothing about no
I
damn
love-
sex. Ain't no put no sex in no Marvel movie.
I know.
It'll be simulated
There's
if
not
it
many
is.
fucking kissing scenes in there either.
Oh, well, they talked about sex in that show, WandaVision. They made so many sexual innuendo jokes in that bitch. Oh
I
my
think that
goodness.
was the 50s. It was probably because there was a lot of innuendo jokes in the fucking. You had to be innuendo in the 50s. You had to. You couldn't say shit out loud like you can now. Now you can just be rude and crude.
I don't remember TV being like that because I watched the fuck out of I Love Lucy and I don't remember
But
them
I Love
making those
Lucy was
sex
different.
jokes, overt or innuendo.
I Love Lucy was different than Dick Van Dyke. Different time.
It was not.
Yes, it was. Dick Van Dyke was made for white people, like white.
Oh,
I Love Lucy was everyone else.
If you don't get on.
Well, think about it. There was a Mexican dude that was she was married to it. That's a biracial relationship.
And what that mean?
In the 50s and 60s, that wasn't cool.
It has always been cool if the white woman wants it.
Really?
What? Yes. Yeah. Where do you think all these 50 and above mixed people come from?
I mean,
Lenny Kravitz's mom is, I can't remember her name. Shit. I forgot her name. But it's his mom is black and his dad is a white lawyer. And Lenny Kravitz is in his 50s. So that means his parents would have been born at least in like the 30s.
tell me any other interracial couples that were on TV back then. There weren't. It's amazing. You think
That's
about it.
beside the point, but guess what though?
That's probably why it was so popular, because it
No,
actually
let me-
showed the world kind of a little bit like it should be.
I mean, but no, because be honest, yeah, you could get on TV. Like different races were getting on TV.
Yeah, but you had
It was just
black
limited
shows.
to what you could do.
Like, look at the Jeffersons and all that shit. They were fucking, like, they had their shows, and then there was these shows.
No, that ain't none. You can't. That ain't true. You can't say that because the Jeffersons literally was a spinoff from a white show. So you can't say that.
Okay.
The Jeffersons was a spinoff of All in the Family.
It was this? How was it a spin-off of All in the Family?
Because George Jefferson was Archie's fucking rival before he moved on up and got his cleaner business. Yes. Matter of fact,
I've never watched any of them. So.
oh, so you don't know what the hell I'm talking about? Anything?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about that old TV.
I can't remember I can't remember if he was his neighbor. I
really had no idea.
think he was his neighbor.
Did
Did you know he gay? Did you know he gay in real life?
Wasn't he like super racist in the show?
Archie Bunker.
Yeah.
I mean, it was TV in the 50s and 60s. You said racist things and black people just dealt with it. Like, what the fuck were they gonna do?
I mean, I get that.
I mean, but
Saying.
black people did their thing on black people shows though, because there's definitely a couple of episodes of Good Times, I believe, with the dad James calling white people honkies. So I mean, I guess
That's not even that bad. It's one of those funny. That's like not even close.
It's not, but
When
they
you talk about-
joked about stereotypes too. But you know how white people get when they get called honky.
I don't.
Like, I hope they don't attack me for saying it on this live.
I don't know how people like.
If you do, I don't care if you do. But please don't.
I've never heard a black person ever call any white person a honky.
That is because black people, as disrespectful as we can be, are typically respectful. Like, we don't go around tossing racial slurs like that.
I mean,
Well,
that's
honky
really
is
a
really not a
racial
racial
slur?
slur. This is
that's
true.
not a racial slur.
I don't think it is either. But some people might. Some people might, because let's be honest, Fox, white people love to find a reason to be oppressed.
Be a victim.
Yeah.
I get it.
So,
I get it.
honky may offend some white people.
I'm sure it does, and if it does, then you're a honky.
I'm not trying to offend nobody, but let me tell you.
If words offend you, you're a honky.
He was.
Huh?
I just confirmed that he was on the show, but I still can't find who the fuck he played. He was on there from season 3 to season 5.
Oh, and then he left off.
And then then whatchamacallit spun off, and he was on The Jeffersons, one of the most iconic black TV shows ever.
Never saw.
An episode.
I've seen it.
Did
Obviously,
you ever hear
because it
Rudy
was
talk about the time he saw Sherman Hemsley?
No, what?
You ever hear Rudy talk about the time he saw Sherman Hemsley?
No, somebody left a comment on one of the last shows that said Rudy is hilarious.
He is. That old fucker is fucking hilarious.
Oh,
He went to-
Look what there's a reason that 70-year-old man still pulls fucking.
Right. I
Stripper
seen the girls he be having.
He's gotten old. Like as he said to stay home more, you can see he's getting. He's gonna need an artificial hip soon.
I was about to say, he'll probably need a new wrist and arm too.
Yeah, he's gotta stay home.
That's right. But
Poor guy.
fucking he said he was in California and he was walking down the street in West Hollywood, and he said he saw because he used to live in California. He said he saw Sherman Hemsley walking down the street.
Which is the guy from the Jeffersons. Right?
Yes, George Jefferson, walking down the street in some blue jean booty shorts, and he was walking with a little white poodle, and he said he was walking down the street.
He's gay? I didn't know he pulled that shit off good. Because I've seen this show on, Nick at Night and whatever.
You gotta see. Oh, you need to see Rudy do that walk. He said he was walking with a dog. Oh God, Rudy is fucking hilarious. But he fucking had me dying with that story, and I had to look it up. And when I looked it up, like he ended up coming out late in life, but he was indeed gay. But in West Hollywood,
it don't matter.
right, you can be out and gay, and nobody gives a shit because nobody talks about it, nobody says anything, and unless you live there, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
But that's
What's Rudy doing in West Hollywood?
Look, we ain't gonna talk about that.
Do you know
He was probably just, if it was Rudy, he probably was getting drugs from somebody. Or giving drugs to somebody.
Probably.
Especially back then. I think
Yeah,
he said this was the. I think he said this was the 70s or 80s. So back then, he probably was getting drugs for somebody. I need some weed. What you got? I just got out to California. I think he said he was bodyguarding out there.
Yeah, he did a lot of that.
Yeah, he did a lot of bodyguarding. His old ass better be able to fight.
It'd be cool. Like, I hope Rudy's the first person they put into a fucking robot body.
Wouldn't it be cool to say we knew him if that happened?
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I knew him before he had that cyborg body.
You know,
bitch.
watch them, you know,
Girl,
trim with fucking not scissor hands.
right. So,
Off goes the hands, on goes the scissors.
when I tell you, say, girl, I have sat with that man and trimmed many a bud, girl, and listened to many a story.
Yeah, he'll probably listen to this at some point. He says we've got to be more structured. I gotta stop interrupting.
You Fox, I told you.
Like that dude all the whole time. Well,
you,
at least I wrote notes.
you like a kid. Like every time you get a new idea, it's like, oh, what is this?
Yeah,
Oh, what
he's
is
gonna forget. It's gonna disappear.
Okay, so what you gotta start doing is you need to keep your pad so you can take notes. Yep.
But then I'm gonna forget what you're talking about and have to remind you anyway.
Exactly, because there was enough information in that show for us to have talked about that show the entire time and never deviated. But we talked about a whole bunch of different things.
Why? It wasn't. I didn't think there was that much.
Oh yeah, it was. There were a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of different things that I saw. Oh, I mean, I guess I could go down my list because I never even looked at my list.
Whose fault was that?
Well, we were talking, so I just kind of went with the flow. Okay, so what could I tell? Okay, the helicopter. That kind of further proves my point.
Forgot about that thing.
That further proves my point too. I think the helicopter was a real helicopter that they tried to fly in.
Oh, that's what that noise was.
Yep, the helicopter got in, but it ended up turning into a toy once it got in, because everything that comes into that reality shifts into something that fits the reality, her reality. So, and then and also the supporting characters. I don't know that. I think some of them may be aware that something is going on.
Are they real people?
Yes, I think they are.
So they're just people that are fucking trapped.
They're trapped in this reality.
Not just thinking that this is real.
Yes, but they're gonna start glitching out, and that's like you see in the one trailer scene, the lady that was fucking hanging the clothes, and she was like, she froze, and then she had the tear running down, and then
the lady, the fucking bitchy lady did it. She glitched out when that radio thing started happening.
Oh, that is right. She sure did. Right, and then she squeezed the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So when outside interferences happen, it fucks with the people in the reality. So maybe.
And only the witch can walk around it because she's a witch.
Yes. Because she's been unaffected by anything. She knows exactly, she's been confident in everything. She's not confused in any moments. She ain't looking around like, what the fuck going on? She knows exactly what's going on. Oh, this makes me think about the scene with her in the car.
Who?
The witch lady, Catherine Hahn, when Vision was talking to her and she was like, am I dead? And he was like, no, why on earth would you say that? And she was like, because you are. And then she started cackling. So that makes me feel a way about that scene. Like, is it at that...
That happened in the show?
Yeah, but not yet. We hadn't seen it. We saw it in the trailer, but we hadn't got to that part yet. So, I mean, like, does she... I guess she starts, like, revealing shit to them at some point to, like... I guess it would kind of make sense, because that's one of the things that would really fuck the reality up. Her accepting that Vision is actually dead. And then losing the children, I think, is just the icing on top. I think that's just the cherry on top. But that's what I'm confused about, because in order for her to lose the children, Mephisto has to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for her to snap and lose her shit, she got to lose the children.
Why does Mephisto have to show up for the kids?
Because the children in the comics, they're pieces of him, literally. Like they're not real children. Like she didn't really get pregnant and have. Well, I guess you could say she got pregnant, but it was pieces. There were pieces of him that he was using to manipulate her, and that's one of the things that made her snap. He ended up absorbing her children back into him, into himself, and she lost her fucking shit. So, but she ended up recreating them.
Maybe this happened. That could happen.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Mephisto has to show up. I think that's who Evan Peters is playing.
Who?
Evan Peters.
He's in this?
Yes.
He hasn't been in it yet.
No, he has not appeared yet. I mean, everybody, people are saying that he.
Is he in the trailer?
No.
Okay.
Which is another reason why. Like, there's no way you cast Evan Peters in your show and don't show him at all unless he has on a ton of fucking CGI because he's fucking Mephisto. I'm telling you, bro.
Or he's not. He's not actually in it. Maybe he doesn't show up to the very end.
Even still, you would tease him or something. Yes, you would.
Maybe you're trying to hide it.
Evan Peters is a big name. If you're gonna tell people that
Maybe
Evan Peters is in your show, there's no way that you don't show him in any trailer. Like, he's an iconic actor.
Unless he
People
comes
love
in as a
him.
human. Maybe he comes in as human at the end.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you would at least like show his human form or have dialogue that hints to him or something like that. Like, but a lot of people are saying that he's possibly going to be Quicksilver. But I feel like if he was
Quicksilver?
he was Quicksilver in the Fox universe.
Oh, so she breaks the universe and he comes in as Quicksilver.
I mean, I guess maybe that's what people are thinking. But I just don't know. Like,
maybe her playing with the universe.
You could get any person to play Quicksilver. You could hire a whole new actor.
We got that guy that was.
You could get Aaron Taylor Johnson to come
Right.
back.
You could do the same thing with Spider-Man too. You don't need to get fucking.
That's what I'm
Tobey
saying.
Maguire.
I think there is a reason you bring in a guy like Evan Peters with all this American Horror Story experience he has. Like, it just screams to me that they are setting this shit up for him to be fucking Mephisto. He's gonna be in this movie. He's probably gonna be in Doctor Strange 2. Like, I just feel it. Like, there's no other explanation. Like, if she's gonna snap, which we know is gonna fucking happen, she has to snap. She's gonna lose her sanity at some point. We know the thing that causes her to do that is losing her kids. We know she already has the kids in the show. So we know she has to lose them at some point in order for that to happen. It just all lines up. I don't see anything else they could be doing to make that happen. And I think he might even succeed. Because I think that might be Mephisto in the trailer. The girl that gets shot out the force field and she's laying on the ground in the 70s clothes as the SWORD agents are running up.
Okay.
And then she turns over to the camera and she kind of gives like a little smile. That's Monica Rambeau. She's the little girl from Captain Marvel. The daughter of the pilot that was friends with Captain Marvel. She's all grown up now. She has powers in the comics. Actually, kind of similar to Captain Marvel. She can change her. She can manipulate light, and she can also change her body into pure energy. So, she's a pretty cool. What's her name? Photon is her name in the comics. But she's a SWORD agent. If you look in the trailer, if you watch that trailer again, when she gets shot out of that force field and lands on the ground, the agents that run up to her, one of them is fucking Monica Rambeau. One of them is her. So there's two in that scene. It's her. You can see her same fro and everything. She's running up as one of the agents, and she's also laying on the ground, just being shot out of that thing, out of that reality. So that's got me thinking: is the character I don't want to keep calling her the black lady, but I know you don't know who Tiana Paris is, but the black lady that was in the Magic Act with them.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think she may be Mephisto. She may be him in human form.
That's probably why she asked how he did it.
Yes. I thought that as soon as she thought that, as soon as she asked that, it started clicking. Because I'm like, okay, bitch, you trying to expose them? Because she was like, one minute I was here, and then the next minute I was in the closet. I wonder how did that happen, or something like that.
How'd you do that?
Yeah. So I think she may be Mephisto in human form. I think at some point, he either like gets Wanda's powers, or he pisses her off, or something like that, and she ejects him out of the reality, and he's loose on Earth. But I think the only way that happens is if he gets her powers, like, cause maybe he needs to get ejected out of the reality into the real world, so that he can go find her conscious body.
No, I think she's walking around conscious right now.
No, I think she's unconscious, and all this is happening in her head.
No, I think these are real people, and she took over a town. I think she was.
I think that's true. But I think it's all a construct. I think she's taking over this town, but I think she is unconscious, and she's projecting herself and Vision, because herself and Vision. Well, Vision is dead, and she's unconscious. So the only way that they could be seeing Vision is if she's projecting an image of him. And the only way she could be doing that is if she's imagining him in her head.
Yeah, see, I think it's more she can create reality. And I think she's creating this reality where Vision is there. And these people, she's just, something happened where I think it's more of a, yeah, I think it's more on the line. We'll see, though. I don't know. I think it's more to do with, like, she just took over a town. And act like somehow, some way, just took over a whole town, a whole city. Like, just was in her bed, sleeping or doing something, and then she just poof. Or Mephisto tricked her into moving, or somehow got her in this area where she could unlock her powers.
I don't think so, because I think in order for this to even be happening, I think she would have to be.
What if everybody's unconscious? What if this whole town is just unconscious? You know what I'm saying?
And maybe it's that. Maybe they're all unconscious, and she's projecting this reality into their heads, and they're all having a shared simulation
with her.
With her.
Yes.
But I think, Fox, I think they're all woke. I think everybody's woke. I think she's the only one unconscious. I think she's unconscious.
I think she's woke.
Because she's never used her reality warping powers.
Right. And
So I don't think she knows how to use them. I think she's unconscious. I think Mephisto has her unconscious, and he's showing her in her dreams or in her subconscious, this is what you can do, because he needs her to realize, firstly, that she can do this, and then him taking the kids from her, or getting ejected out of however he ends up getting ejected out of the thing. He needs her to wake up now, realizing I can do this, and also realizing I don't have this safe reality no more where Vision was alive and where I had these kids, because then that puts her in a dark state to want to use these reality warping powers
to change her reality.
Yes, and then that's when she changes the actual reality of things. Now knowing, hey, this is what I can do, then say she changes it and flips shit around. Now, I don't know if that happens in this series or if that happens in Doctor Strange. Maybe that's how it ends. Maybe it ends on a cliffhanger. She loses the kids, wakes up, Mephisto is shoved out of the fucking reality, however, and he's with her body, or because I think he's gonna keep disguising himself even when he gets shot out to reality. I think it's gonna be a continual disguise for him. I don't think we're really gonna find out who he is until maybe the Doctor Strange movie. I don't, because
Then
I don't know.
How do they list Evan Peters?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because maybe his voice is in it or something. I don't know. But at the end of the day,
Maybe he shows himself after when she doesn't know.
okay, I can
Maybe
see
it's
that.
a reveal to the public, but not
Right. Maybe we see it, but she doesn't see it.
to her or anyone else in the world
Yeah,
sees it.
yeah. Only we see it,
Yeah.
like a Michael Jackson tape where he walking with her and then he turn and look behind over her shoulder, and his eyes turn yellow.
I guess that's a good space to end it.